New Frontiers Learning is the #1 tuition center for the CFA exams in Nigeria. Our founders went through their CFA journey with little or no support of any kind. However, they vowed to turn into reality the dream of every CFA candidate earning the CFA charter, irrespective of their backgrounds, finance, and non-finance alike. It is this commitment to support our candidates that influences our engagement of a world-class faculty, partnerships, scholarship, and discount offers, our online learning management system, and so much more. Our clients' outstanding results across all levels of the exams every year attest to the quality of our top-notch physical and online program in the last 10 years. That's right, we have been impacting the industry for 10 years and have supported about 2,500 professionals in that time space. Register with New Frontiers Learning today. New Frontiers Learning is the #1 tuition center for the CFA exams in Nigeria. Our founders went through their CFA journey with little or no support of any kind. However, they vowed to turn into reality the dream of every CFA candidate earning the CFA charter, irrespective of their backgrounds, finance, and non-finance alike. It is this commitment to support our candidates that influences our engagement of a world-class faculty, partnerships, scholarship, and discount offers, our online learning management system, and so much more. Our clients' outstanding results across all levels of the exams every year attest to the quality of our top-notch physical and online program in the last 10 years. That's right, we have been impacting the industry for 10 years and have supported about 2,500 professionals in that time space. Register with New Frontiers Learning today.
All right. Good evening, everyone. It's so good to be here, and it's so good to have you here. Welcome to the New Frontiers Learning Impact Series, and my name is Ayo Akinrotimi, and I'll be your host tonight. But before we begin anything at all, I'd like to confirm that I'm both visible and audible. So if you can, please unmute your microphone or drop in the chat and say, yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can see you. That will help. First things first, you need to know that I'm visible and audible. Okay, got one confirmation. One. Let's get it to 4, 5. Okay, 1. Okay, got 2. Thank you, Collins. Thank you, Rita. I'll take one more just to be thorough about this. Thank you, Jalil. Thank you, Mercy. All right, that's fine. Okay, so good evening, everyone, and welcome tonight. So that's the first thing we like to do, confirm that you can both see and hear us. Welcome tonight. The second thing will be that if you know someone who should be on this call but isn't here right now, it will be a good time to send a reminder, a WhatsApp message or something, and say, hey, we're starting already because we're going to have a pretty amazing time tonight. This session is also streaming live on YouTube, which means that whether you are here or you're unable to join on, you can check in on YouTube. That's New Frontiers Learning Center, at New Frontiers Learning Center. That's www.youtube.com/New Frontiers Learning Center. You will be able to find us right there. But in the meantime, let's get started, and thank you all for joining tonight. So tonight we would have general introductions. We'll get into the interview almost immediately, and then we will begin the questions with our we'll take the questions from our guests. So tonight we have 2 of our finest people who have agreed to join us tonight, and I'm so excited about the stories of these 2 people, right? The first person we have tonight is Abdul Jalil Ikoria, who will be speaking for level 1 candidates passed. He's currently level 2 candidate at the New Frontiers Learning Program. Jalil is a finance professional with over a decade of experience spanning across finance, investment analysis, treasury management. And he currently serves as senior manager at Flutterwave, where he focuses on liquidity management and treasury management. He is a CFA program candidate with strong interest in infrastructure finance, investment strategy, and capital markets. Outside of work, Jalil enjoys playing lawn tennis and is passionate about continuous learning and professional development within the finance industry. Good evening, Jalil, and welcome tonight. Are you here with me? I'm sure the guys will put you on spotlight right now, but I can't hear you.
Yes, I can. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Good, good. I can hear you. I can hear you. All right. Good evening. You're welcome. It's good to have you. Okay. So, and our second guest would be Hawa Yaru. Hawa is a CF past level 2 exam. She is a level 3 candidate of the CFA program. So Hawa is a finance professional with over 7 years of experience in fixed income trading and capital markets at Guarantee Trust Bank, where she currently serves as head of capital market trading. With a degree in information technology management for business from the UK. She has built a dynamic career spanning across fixed income trading and sales, as well as exposure to foreign exchange markets. She is currently a level 3 CFA candidate, and she has a very strong passion for investment strategy, capital markets, and continuous growth within the finance industry. Outside of work, she loves traveling, shopping, and trying new foods. Always excited by experiences that allow her to explore different cultures, places, and people, right? So good evening, how are you on the call just yet? I'm aware she was on the road just before we started, and I'm sure she will join us at some point, right? So the moment she's in, the team will spotlight her and we can then ask her those wonderful questions. By the way, ours, I must say before we even start that, ours level 1 results is one of the most amazing results I've ever seen. And we'll talk a bit more about that actually. Right. So again, when you've passed the level 1, you've passed. This is not there, apart from the fact that maybe there is a percentile at some, there could be a percentile, right? But again, when you've passed level 1, you've passed, if you understand what I'm saying. But then you can't take out the fact that there are certain things, and I just hope that we can really explore why that is tonight, and I'm sure she will join us in a moment. But in the meantime, Jalil, I'm very happy to see you tonight. I was telling you just before this call that I remember the level 1 days, like that was you wrote November exams.
Yeah, correct.
You
Last
wrote
year,
November
November.
exams, and you got your results in January
Correct.
and resumed level 2 in January.
Correct.
That's a big one. I mean, you were in the class that ran from July or June to December, June to October.
Correct. Yeah.
So it was 16 weekends for you straight into the exams. Then you came straight to level 2, right? Yeah, that's not a typical journey of a candidate. So it's quite some feat there, and I'm so happy. I'm so excited because I remember all our level 1 interactions. So good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight once again.
Okay.
Let's go. So tell me, maybe there's something about you we've not talked about, your background, just maybe there's things we've not talked about. Let's meet you, Abdul Jalil.
Okay. Thank you. My name is Abdul Jalil Ikoria.
Mm,
More or less a finance professional.
mm,
I currently have my activities in treasury management and liquidity management, and that's because of the field that I'm in at the moment.
mm,
Being a fintech space. So it's been interesting, especially in this fintech space, away from the capital market, because I've had my fair share in the capital market and the core industry. I think that the fintech gives you core finance with a mix of technology, right? And in its real sense, that's real. And we've had instances where on a daily basis you can point, what you do on your desk
mhm,
to knowledge that you are getting from CFA as a professional qualification. So I'll say me in a nutshell, I'm just a professional. I'm just a finance professional. You know, free times I play lawn tennis. You know, just to ease the tension because the finance space can be a lot sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you start playing your lawn tennis after the CFA exams, or was it before the CFA exams?
Um, Before the CFA exams, but my right hand became stronger after my CFA.
That's pretty interesting, right? That's pretty interesting. And it's part of the things we'll discuss tonight. There just must be a way that CFA candidates his themselves.
Yeah.
There must be some way. It can be something else. And I always say that I don't think people fail these exams because they didn't study. I think many people fail because they didn't study strategically. They were not strategic about their study. There is an approach. There is a way to it. There is a method. Yeah, that's the word. There is a method to these things. And yes, you can get into the material, and it can overwhelm you from the word go. It can just overwhelm you, right? So you don't want to be, at that point. So let me ask you. So at what point, was it fine? Was it going to be finance for you?
Hmm. Um, Frankly, I'd say that I'd always been a science student, you know, core science student, but I pretty much didn't think it would be finance.
Hmm.
Uh, but on a lighter note, I would say when things started getting real, I was in search of not being a civil engineer, you know, or I mean, no shades to civil engineers, but I thought, you know, as a young man back then, I just felt I needed more money. You know, I
Uh-huh.
was Alfred Marshall, you know, The Economist, and all all of that things like I could use to get more. But by and large, I think that I've always been a very analytical person in itself.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
understanding numbers, that had always driven me to this part of
Hmm.
finance. And I'd say that finance gave me a way to combine, you know, analytical thinking, you know, with real world experience, with real world impacts, you know. So on a daily basis, you more or less, you know, can achieve your goals if you are
Yeah.
good with finance, right? If
Yeah.
you are a number person, then you can easily achieve your goals. So
Hmm.
I'll say late at my YX stage, I pretty much just signed up that, you know what, I was going to be in the finance space. Be it
Yeah.
good or be it bad, but it's been a very, very beautiful journey so far.
Yeah. Good. So necessity moved you to this finance thing. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, and um this is one of the most honest answers I've gotten on this matter, right? People say all kinds of things, but at the end of the day, hey, I mean, hey, at the end of the day, it's the numbers. It has a role to play, right? So, like one of our co-founders will say, Ayokule Ojo will say that, when you're a CFA chapter holder, you'll be rich. Somehow, you would be rich. You will make money. You will know how to handle money, right? So, I like your honesty. Hi, Hawa. We are excited to have you tonight.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kule. Good evening once again. Hi,
Welcome.
Jalil. Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Hawa. And I'm so excited to have you the second time.
Thank you
This
so
is
much.
the
I'm
second
so
time I've been.
excited to be here. This is the second time I did for
Yeah.
after level 1.
Yeah.
So happy
And
to
now
be
this is after
here.
level 2. Yeah. So don't worry, I will definitely have you for the third time. And that's after this
And
exam. So
amen. I'm looking
by
forward to
God's grace.
that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I was just asking Jalil that at what point was it going to be finance for him? Right. So you do something. I read your profile out a bit, but maybe there's one or two things we don't know about you. About how I just tell us then, and tell us at what point really was it going to be finance?
Okay, so I think the main thing people don't know about me or people are surprised is that I love food. So I love going out to eat food. That's one of my pastimes. I just had a session for HR training the 4 to 6 months entry trainees in our bank today, and I told them
Yeah.
not to lose themselves in work and find something that works for them. And I said for me is to go out to eat in new restaurants, and they were
Mhm.
surprised. So That's something people don't know about me. And then for me, career in finance. So I joined the bank through tech. I studied tech in uni. I was so confused on what to do after secondary school. I thought I wanted to be an architect, but the year I graduated, 2011, tech was the it thing. So my mom chose tech. But growing up, I've always been a trader at heart. Like, while my cousins will come to play with dolls growing up, I will pluck trees. We had a lot of fruits in my house. I'll pluck trees and then I have a garden and go and be selling it outside my house. Even in high school, when they told me, oh, I couldn't take some things, I had tonsillitis, I had people come over to my room in boarding school, I would sell those things. So I became a trader fast early on. And I think my mom being a banker and chartered accountant has always influenced me. So even at home, I was always the one in charge of finances, payments, books, and all. And then joining bank, I was moved to treasury after 6 months and I just felt at home. After a while, I just had to do the CFA to solidify my knowledge in finance, just refine it since I wasn't doing any MBA as at or a master's as at then. So that was how I found myself in finance.
I mean, pretty exciting journey. So you were going into architecture. Jalil here was a civil engineer.
I
In
heard
fact,
him.
he got to practice. It's interesting.
It's
Well,
interesting.
should I?
Yeah, it dropped, but you'll be back soon. You'll be back shortly.
Hello? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, I
Yes,
can
we
hear you
can
now.
hear you.
I'm so sorry. It's all actually well. So I was talking about how I you are a civil engineer. She was going into architecture. Well, I wanted to mention that I'm a graduate of building myself from IFE, right? So I was going to
Oh,
mention
wow.
it's a construction room tonight. Okay. So 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 let's look at it this way. I want to ask a particular question that I think is important from the beginning. I personally believe that every candidate must have a strong why for taking the CFA exams. If you don't figure it out early enough, you're going to struggle. In fact, you are more likely to quit than anybody else. We got data from the CFA Institute that throughput for the CFA exams, that is throughput for people to join the program at level 1 and that graduate, the number of people that join at level 1 and that eventually are done with level 3 to become charter holders, right? Can anybody guess the throughput number? That percentage, what do you think throughput is? Raw material to finished product. Level
Maybe
1,
30%.
30. You are quite optimistic.
Yeah.
Jali, what would you think?
Thoughts higher, maybe 30% also.
30%.
9%.
Okay, someone says 9%. Okay, so nobody got it. It's 7%.
Wow.
Institute data, this institute data is CFA Institute data, global data, right? So it's verifiable, 7%, right? As at last year, except anything has changed now. It's interesting. So you must have a strong why, right? And that's where I want to really begin tonight. What was your strong why? Yeah, it's low. Again, boy, again. So Rita says it's too low. Oh, yes, it is. That's why it's the CFA exam. There are less than 200,000 charter holders in the world, and there are about 8 billion people on earth right now. So if you ever become a charter holder, it becomes, what that does to you is that you are among the elites of the elites. We don't have up to 1 million charter holders globally. No, we don't have up to 1 million globally. So think like someone was saying 0.001% or something like that on the of the population of the earth. So this is what it means. If you make an uninformed decision right now because of that, you'll be shooting yourself in the foot. Because I brought you 2 people on this call tonight. If there was anybody, if anybody should be disadvantaged by virtue of background, then it should be these 2 people on this call tonight. Right. And what we do at New Frontiers is to help people like them. Right. I mean, English grad, I had English grad level 1. I was afraid for her. She passed excellently. I'm not saying she managed to pass. She passed excellently. I mean, I couldn't show my surprise a lot, but deep down I had concerns. And because there is a system that works. And as much as possible, by God's grace, we've done this for about 15 years. About 5,000 people have passed through our program in that period. So there is a system that works, if you understand what I mean. But then I want to begin from, what was your strong why that kept you going? You are in level 3 now. Our Jalil is in level 2 now.
Yes.
So
Yes.
let me find out from you. What was your strong why? I need to know for each of you. So how you can go first.
Okay, so as I grew older, that interest in finance really evolved into a passion, right? And I enjoyed that fast-paced analytical space. And I just knew that, I found what I wanted to do. Because like I said, I wanted to be an architect. I studied tech, so I was quite confused. And that was why I never did masters. And in my career, all the certification, everything, and I learned about the charter, I learned about what it was. And I just thought that, okay, this is what I need to refine myself, because it's like in business, you can have that street knowledge, but when you have that refinement, even your decision making and everything that you employ in work is always easier. So that thing really kept me going, because trust me, like you said, Mr. Hayakule, if you don't have a strong why, because sometimes you'll be thinking that, why am I doing this again? Why am I going through this? Because that journey can be very, very tough. So you really need that anchor. This is my end game. This is my goal. So it can't just be to have CFA in front of your name. It can't be because Jalil is doing it, I'll do it too. It can't be because I want to impress something. It has to be something that you've decided to embark on yourself, to improve on yourself, that you need this thing. And that is what will keep making you push through, because you just heard the stats now. It is not an easy exam, especially with our life and adulthood. You have a career by the side. It is very, very demanding. It is jealous. You cannot have a relationship with something else and CFA. It is not possible if you want to pass it and you want to pass it well. So you really need to have that why. And for me, I just found a calling that I am a finance person, and this was something that I felt like I needed to help me excel in my career and my profession as a finance person. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So the calling was strong, right? It was beyond waking up and going to a job. It was a calling for you. It was, if I wasn't doing this, then there'll be nothing else I would rather be doing. It's this or is either this or this, right? Not like you gave yourself another option. So thank you very much, right? Thank you very much. And again, that data is large, is small, right? But it's in a large population. Again, you need to understand it. So take, for example, when they say, let me give you an example, and I'm speaking specifically to, I think it was Rita, I'm not sure who dropped a chart about how it's too small. Now 7% is too low. Yeah. Let me say this again, which is why when we give this data, is for an extremely large population. So take, for example, they will say What was the average pass for the last level one? Jelly, when you wrote your level one last year, yours is the most recent one. What was the pass rate globally?
I can't recall, but I think it was 40,
It's,
44.
it's always in the 40 range. It's 40 something. It's always 40 something. Always been 40. For a while, it's been 40 something, right? So that's less than half of people pass level one. But Jalil will tell you here how many people passed in his class. In fact, I called what's his name now? Was he Ebuka now? Ebuka. Yes, I called Ebuka to find out about how it was. Ebuka told me everybody I spoke to passed.
We all
Now,
passed
so
that.
exactly. So there is a large population. That data is for a large population, but this is a smaller sample. Now, it's the Institute for Ethical Reasons doesn't allow us give out our pass rates, but I can share something straight up. There are absolute values where there is zero, where nobody passed, and there's 100, right? Not too long ago, we had a 100% pass rate in our level two program. Level two program. We had 100%. Yes, 100%. It's verifiable. If you doubt it, come to school, we'll show it to you. It's not, there's nothing there. 100%. It's the reason why we didn't make too much noise about that is because of the ethical reasons. We are bounded by ethics when it comes to the CFA thing. There is a way you can throw, and some people do it, but we can't. I mean, there are more stakes for us. We can't afford to be unethical in our own practices. Some people do it and say these are pass rating level one, these are pass rating level two. Because when you do that, it skews people's decision-making process. Even if you can't give them, even if you can't say, you can't explain it, you can't verify it. As long as you tell the human mind that, oh, we have so and so pass rate, they begin to think that, okay, that's how to do it. I mean, you are investment professionals. You don't promise returns. You don't guarantee returns. And so you can't play with rates like that. So that's essentially, I just needed to put out there. So your job, it wasn't just another job for you. It was a calling. That's a very strong thing. That's a very strong thing. That is, you had no choice. You either had this or this. When you have options, you can move on to alternatives. That's a really strong one. Well done. And I'm
Yes,
and I'm and
thank
I'm
you.
hammering it because there's no point running this program. There's no point coming into the CFA program if you don't find your strong why. I promise you, you will back out very soon. It's not a
Mm-hmm.
joke. A program where there are less than 1 million people on earth. How do you do you know what that is? We're just about 0.001 at charter holders percent. Do you know what that is? Is again, that means it's a lot of work. Now, and like we say at New Frontiers, the work is the exams are already difficult. Our job is to decomplicate the process, is to demystify the process. I mean, I was so excited when I was talking about how you attend derivatives class. Derivatives is supposed to be the most complex of everything you go through in the curriculum. But our derivatives class are the fullest. Are the fullest. I didn't even know. It was a candidate who came to school to tell me that your derivatives teacher, Michael, is arguably the number one derivatives trader in Africa. I didn't know anything. I didn't know. I
To
just
be
work for this
honest,
guy,
to be honest,
bro.
there's
Yeah.
even a colleague of ours that I
Okay.
only see him in class for derivatives.
Ooh.
He has always attended only derivatives class, and we started since end of March. And we
Ooh.
wrote level two together. And I told him his name is also Michael. And I said, you just attend derivatives. I've noticed for the past 2 weeks since we
Hmm.
started, he only attends derivatives. Like that class is always packed. And trust me,
Yeah.
it's packed for a reason because, like I told you, derivatives in that class and derivatives in my level three curriculum is like it's two different
Hmm.
things because I'm
Sure.
sitting looking there that okay, this is it. And you go
Hmm.
back and you check, you've covered everything and you understand it. And you're thinking,
Hmm.
oh, this one that is looking like Greek could be
Hmm.
demystified like that. This is
Exactly.
why we come to class.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much. So I needed to, sorry, Jalil, I needed to do that quickly to calm people's nerves. That yes, when it comes to, because in that population, there are a lot of people who don't go to classes. There are a lot of people who run self-paced, and it's okay. It's perfect to self-study if you can, and we are routing for you. That's why we do a lot of free stuff to augment what candidates do. There are candidates who come to us, we need certain help, we can't afford, we will sort you out. We'll find a way to help you. We are happy. We just need more charter holders in this market because very soon, not too long from now, the number of charter holders from Nigeria are going to rise so high that the institute will begin to pay very serious attention to our market. They are doing a bit right now, but this Nigerian market, forget it. It's not. I'm not even just talking about Africa. Nigeria is going to be spotlighted on their wall, on their dashboard. That there's something going on in that place, and New Frontiers is going to be responsible for 90% of that success. I can guarantee you. That's why we are doing our work. It's not just we are not just going there. It's a calling. We are immersed in this thing and we understand what we are doing. So if you're on this call, relax. That data was for the institute, is for the larger population. But don't worry. If an architect is talking about derivatives as if we are eating chicken and chips, I mean, what is it that you won't be able to do? Some of you are even chartered accountants, right? So calm down. We'll be fine, right? So Jalil, what was your strong why?
Yeah. So I think I'll build on actually, which is the calling. The reason why it is because CFA is what I call the next actually, right? And for every level, when you are going up at the notch, you must be ready.
Yeah.
You must have your own study in your hearts. What do I need in the closest period, maybe in the next 10 years, right? You start looking at your qualification so far and what you need to build upon that experience. In the finance space, right? The broader level of the finance space, the next think of is your CFA. But, right? You mentally ready because moments where you are alone in your room, you're in front of your STEM studying or your curriculum studying, and if your why is not strong enough, you would lose that interest. So always making sure that you are ready for the next level and you listen to yourself enough and you're willing to that work, would not be in a path where you are comfortable and you say, okay, it's time for me to pursue my CFA career. To me, I looked at myself. I've been in finance for a very long time. And what I need was to deepen my understanding in finance, right? So that when I'm speaking about finance, from an all-round perspective, be it from finance, financial reporting, risk, derivative, market, economics, I can speak in authority, right? CFA is a body of knowledge for a reason, right? And even from your level one, you would be knowledge drunk, right? So I would say that I look at CFA as a next level thought, but then you must be ready for that process so that you don't fall off the crew early enough, because the prayer is CFA is hard, right? So the prayer we tell ourselves, let us be strong enough to go that process. I like the way you New Frontier would help you demystify whatever you find in your curriculum. Some of us, I'm also a chartered accountant, but the moment you say you want to go in for the CFA, please, whatever external qualification you have, be humble enough, ignore it. And assume zero knowledge. New Frontier will fill you with knowledge like there is tomorrow. Before I joined, there were courses that I was really scared of. Derivatives is one of them. And it's always a dream come true that, when you see your score in derivative, it's very high up. And it just tells, we are pretty much in the right spot. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Jalil. And this is important, and that was why I took my time about it. If you don't find out what's your driver, your core driver, you will soon run out of the room because this kitchen gets hot, and if you can't take the heat, we're just being honest with you right now. So you would be, you need to put in the work, but then it will be demystified. It will be broken down. You'll be able to pick it up in bits. Essentially, like I talked to our candidates, I said, you know how when a little child can't process meat, can't do a lot of chewing, and the mom does the mastication just to reduce the chewing process. That's what teachers do. Because let me ask you, Jalil, practically speaking, are you able to go from class, even before writing exams, are you able to go from class and improve the quality of your work at the office?
Definitely, right? I think that you have, because I mean, I feel like joining NF, New Frontier, was more or less like a blessing, right?
Mhm.
You more or less see field marshals, people in the industry that you admire in different
Mhm.
aspects, in class now teaching you raw knowledge. They
Mhm.
finish giving you the cake of what
Mhm.
you need to CFA, and
Yeah.
now they're giving you points on the cake, which you can
Mhm.
excel on your job desk, on your everyday activities. If you are a trader, you manage liquidity, you will definitely find what you need when it comes to NF. And
Yeah.
we have gained a lot. I've
Mhm.
gained a lot, right? If that's about what I have used my knowledge
Mhm.
from NF to, I think you would ask for a refund.
We know it always works. We know, trust me.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's very easy for me because I work in a place where I deal with currency pairs of over 500 current
Ooh.
country. So imagine, different currencies moving in different directions.
Mhm.
And then you have a session with me, right? And
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
understand entirely the power of
Exactly.
currency and
Mhm.
the cover trades and utilizing carry arbitrage. So these
Mhm.
are things gains successfully from
Yeah.
NF,
Yeah.
and it has improved my status. And you just become a body of knowledge generally.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you, Jalil. Thank you. How is it? Is it the same for you as work? I mean, I don't want to make no assumptions tonight. You're muted.
Okay, like I said earlier, for me, it's been the same thing as well, because all the decisions that I've been making as a trader, eventually after CFA, I could see the difference, right?
Mhm.
Times when I'll analyze things and I just knew that, okay, this is what it meant. But now I'm able to analyze globally because I trade
Mhm.
across the local and Euro bonds and see news and form forecasts and have expectations and see ahead. And I'm more confident in the positions that I take because I know that this is what this means and this is what to expect. And it happened in level 1. It was much better in level 2. And I thought,
Whoa.
okay, I'm done. Level 3 is just for portfolio management. But guess what? There are concepts that I'm still learning and they are
Mhm.
being applied to my real life in trading. And I'm able to speak more confidently about these things. Even
Mhm.
earlier today, I had to tell my younger colleague, and I said, if you choose this as your path, trust me, you need to
Yeah.
have CFA and to learn that because it takes you from here to here. You might be able to do it, but it refines
Mhm.
you and it gives you that confidence. And when you have confidence and you do things, you have that experience. That's it. The sky is your limit. And like Jalil has said, we
Yeah.
have experienced field people teaching us firsthand. So they have things that are very relatable for you to understand. They can give you that in class. So there's nothing that compares to that kind of knowledge, honestly. But somebody
Yeah.
that would have
Yeah.
experienced it and teach you accordingly.
True. True. Thank you very much. And I think I like the direction that these conversations are going tonight because I mean, that's the ultimate goal, right, of the exams. That it will make you better at work and you become a positive force in society, right? Our goal is to be able to transform the world using the force of finance, right? Using finance as a positive force in our market. It cuts across every sector. Every sector is affected by finance. Every sector is affected. So again, we must be a certain way to be able to, enter into these places and create tremendous impact, right? That benefits people, as it were. Okay, so let me move quickly. I wanted to ask you what your, maybe I should just for 1 minute. What would be your biggest memory in level two? I'll take level two, maybe a little another one for level one. Then Jalil, your biggest memory, level one. Let our go first. Your biggest memory, what your biggest memory was. But let's take our first.
Okay, for level one, I think my biggest memory was, to be honest, I've always heard, before I started, I've always heard CFA, it's a big deal and all. And to be honest, I started with New Frontiers. I read and I took my time, I spaced it because I knew how busy work was, and I knew I had a lot of programs. So I registered in January, I wrote the exam in November. And one thing I'll say is that really helped me. I was on the first row. Everybody knew my seats. I was in front of that class. I was there from beginning to the end. I was just soaking up knowledge. If there was something that wasn't clear, I'll ask in that class. And you know what? After classes, I took a break. I was in India for projects and all. I was revising, and it just seemed. And I remember one thing our teachers would say: active recalling. I'll revise and I'll just try and remember things. So that learning really, really ingrained in my head that when it came to the exam hall, there were some questions that I was solving. I was like, CFA. Is this really the CFA exam? It was like that. So it was quite easy. Honestly, it was very, very easy. It's a very broad exam. It takes a lot to prepare. But like Mr. Akule said, they've chewed it up for me in class and they've given me. So it was very, very easy. Level one, it was a bit underwhelming in the exam hall. For level two, I feel like the biggest memory I have is I've always advised people understand that concept. Make sure you're solid in your level one, because level two is valuation on top of level one. And I remember I took a 1 year break to focus on work for level two. And then I just thought like I'm falling off the bandwagon. So January 2025, by mid-January, I decided to pay, and I said, I'm writing it in May. And I just said, God help me. But thank God I had gone for classes in 2024. And like I said, I don't joke with my classes, and how they teach, you can never forget unless you were not in that class paying attention. So it was easier for me to quickly revise. And I remember times when I was doing renovation, I was on projects, I was on committees. I'm like, I can't do this, I can't do this. But guess what? That solid foundation from level one and the classes from level two helped me, and I scaled through. Most of my learning was in the last 1 month of my level two. And though I chewed pen in the exam hall because I didn't have time to study some things like alternative, and the ethics was harder. But funny enough, it was only my alternative that reflected. Ethics was harder than I expected. I remember thinking, I might come back to this exam hall. But when I saw my results, I was very, very shocked. So I couldn't forget that experience. It was a different ball game. But trust me, I know people say, oh, level two is the hardest. But when it came to studying, because if you prepare well for level one and you have that solid foundation, level two, trust me, will not be so hard. I think what is hard is for people to relearn people just read level one to pass. And when it comes to level two, you have to now relearn level one concepts all over again before building and learning the valuation. Level one is the basics. Level two is valuing what you learned in level one. So imagine if you forgot level one, it's now a double study. So please, if there's one thing, make sure your level one is solid. You understand it, not just to read or cram to pass. Level two should be easier.
Yeah. So I think
Thank you. Go ahead, Jerry.
so I think that I'm aligned to what Howard mentioned, right? For level one, it is consistency over intensity. Consistent. You have to make sure that you are the front of your book every day, right? That's one way to go about it. For level one, I think one memory that I have is when we had the derivative lectures for the first time. And after it was time for the short break, I was mentally confused already. At that point, I felt like, if the lectures just ends today, I probably would not just come back again, and that's where you find me disturbing you questions along the corridor, just to make sure that I'm not the one that I'm not the one that's just worried and you're having people asking you same questions. But we have that are very intentional. And Izu, for example, for derivatives, is ready to respond to you 20 times, right? Without showing any form of frustration, right? Even when you ask the dumbest of questions, ready to explain it to you. So, and with that, it's like holding a child's hands to cross the road. You know, you start feeling a little bit confident. And secondly, the knowledge for NF doesn't really end the last day you drop your pen, right? You still have access to the very easily. You can call them, you know, and they would help. And I remember a couple of lecturers organized sessions for us after the lectures had ended, both virtually and physically. And at the end, also grouped together for groups.
I even need to tell you that those, sorry, let me just punctuate that thing you mentioned, is completely selfless. They don't have the time. In fact, let me say on this call that they never get paid for it because I'm not aware. In fact, I hear like this from candidates. I hear like this from candidates that faculty does 10 hours, 20 hours for them. They never get paid for this one you are mentioning. These are extra hours that they find that you arrange with them that we don't know. And I know how our global counterparts could charge you in dollars for consultation per hour. The data is there, it's public information. And if anybody is busy, these guys are busy. I'm sure you know that these guys are truly, truly busy. I just needed to mention that on my financial data, this one is not captured. Is this one you mentioned is not captured. And they always do it.
Yes, they always do it. It's more or less like a thing that they want to ensure that, you know, you are done, right? I remember calling my mentor, you know, because you're also paired with mentors, right? That you can take advantage of. I remember calling him at the end of the day and telling him, you know, I'm having an average of almost 80. What do you think? And he was like, yeah, there's still time, right? Even if you were having 40, that's not possible. But there is still time. You still have, you know, 2-3 weeks to beef it up to as high as you want it to be, right? So you definitely meet people that are ready to hold your hands. So, and up until, and I remember Biodun used to tell us that by the time you're done with New Frontiers and you get into the hall, which is what Hawa mentioned, and you are attempting your questions or solving your questions, you're going to ask yourself, is this really what I've been killing myself for the past few months? Because at some point in time, I felt that way. I felt that way. Not to be too, you know, excited, but I had to go back into my shell to, you know, ensure that I'm really doing things. Because when you start your CFA journey, you understand that CFA is not tricky. They just ask you questions that you should know. So if you don't know it, then we assume it's tricky. That's my memory. And I think that I was more or less very consistent over very intense studies. Very consistent. I ensured that I was there practicing lots of questions. I wasn't really focused on, oh, I'm failing. I was only focused on that like 2 weeks to the exams. But before that, I was more or less focused on solving as much questions as possible. And that would be something that can help you out.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. I mean, you guys are already even answering the next question because I was going to now ask you, and I'm sure this is where the bulk of the work is tonight. Like, so let's talk about optimal strategies and tips, right, for passing the level 1 and 2 exams, right? Optimal strategies. I've said before, candidates don't fail these exams because they didn't study. No, that's not true. Candidates fail these exams because they were not strategic about their studies. There is a way to study for the CFA exam. There is a way you can pass through a program. There are programs you can pass through, but there are programs that pass through you. The CFA exam is what the CFA program is one that passes through you. You become a different person. It's not you won't pass it because you crammed. You won't pass it because you did something superficial. No, something would have happened to you by the time you get your hands on the charter. You won't be the same person again. And I think that's the most rewarding part of this journey. I don't think that um, getting a license to practice as a medical doctor, for example, is the best thing that can happen to somebody in medical school after 6 years. I think there is a kind of way you begin to think. There is a kind of outlook you have towards life. There is a different way you look at things, and it's exactly the same with the CFA program. So some programs you can pass through, but some programs pass through you, right? And if you're up for transformation, then this is it. It's a consistent journey. It's a consistent passing through, as it were. It goes through you, creates its mark, one layer after another. And the funny thing is, even long before you pass, you begin to see the benefits in the way you think, in the quality of your work, in the kind of conversations you're able to have, and it's just powerful. I mean, we refer to it as a global passport, to be very honest with you. We believe that the CFA charter it's a global passport, right, for candidates. So let's go tonight. What optimal strategies do you think, people need to read strategically? What would you say are optimal strategies for passing this exam? So how are you speak for two and a bit of one? Jalil will speak for level one. Yeah. So let's go.
Okay, thank you very much. I think one of the biggest piece of advice I usually give candidates, like I said, is to focus on truly understanding the concepts, not just memorizing formulas or trying to cram. Like you said, you need to imbibe this. And just imagine going through such a rigorous program, having that charter and not being able to apply it. Like Jelle had said, he was more confident and he could speak more freely. So if he did not understand and relate to these things, he cannot apply it. It's beyond just having that CFA charter. And the CFA program is very layered. So you need a strong conceptual foundation, and that becomes your bedrock as you progress, because trust me, level 1 is connected to level 2 and to level 3 eventually. I would also say consistency is very important. Even with a busy schedule, you need to steady study over time. It makes a huge difference. And that's where classes came in for me. I knew how my work was. I knew how my career was, and all. I just needed to dedicate those weekends to those classes. And trust me, it cut down a lot of the reading I had to do on my own to understand. And when I had time, it was just for me to revise. So I'll say that's very important. And lastly, please practice your questions. You see that ecosystem, how I study, I'll just give you a practical example. I go for my classes, I read as per revision, I don't solve any questions. Then close to my exam, I start solving questions and I don't look at it. I solve from what I've known already. And that's when I know what I know and what I don't know. I won't even fool myself. And I know down my strengths and my weaknesses. And I go back and I revise my weaknesses. And I come back and I solve them again until I'm okay with that. I solve the whole questions on that ecosystem. And close to the exam, I do my mock 1. I go back and revise. I check my weakness, my strengths, revise everything. When I'm solid, I come back and I do mock 2. And you find that by that time, even you said, you know that, I've tried. If you follow this, trust me, like Mr. Ekule said, it is a method that has worked on my level 1. It worked for my level 2 in a shorter period. But one thing I'll say, please make sure you leave enough time so you're not overwhelmed or stressed in a short period close to the exam. But concepts, key understanding, consistency, and solving questions, those 3 are the key advice.
Thank you very much, Awa. Thank you very much. Thank you. It can't even get better than that. Thank you. The questions should keep coming. We'll take more questions. We'll take questions at the appropriate time. But thank you. I think this is pretty concise. Solving questions, you can't even overflog that. I will be surprised if Jalil doesn't talk about that. And he has even mentioned something like that tonight. There is power in that thing. That thing. I always tell candidates, you will not be rewarded for reading. Write it in capital letters, put it where you are reading your book, put it there, frame it, that somebody said that you will not be rewarded for reading. you will be rewarded for solving questions, and plenty of them at that. That's why when you join our program, we will give you nothing less than 10,000 questions. You will never be able to exhaust the questions we give you. The intention is to overwhelm you with questions. That's the plan. We want to get you thoroughly overwhelmed. If you do it correctly, when you get to the exam hall, that feeling Awa and Jelly spoke about tonight, you must have it in the exam. That's when you know you have passed before the results are out. If you don't have that feeling, if these things don't look familiar, there's just the numbers that have moved around. You can question whether you will pass or not. Right. So thank you very much, Awa. That's very concise and straight. Jelly, let's have you, please.
Yeah. So thank you. I think being Awa is my senior colleague, so I would always agree on what she has said. I think one thing that stands out for me in what she said is, making sure that the concepts you learn from level 1 sticks. Right. I'm currently in level 2, and I'll tell you for free, that's absolutely correct. Because there is the questions can be compartmentalized, but there is somehow a link between level 1 to level 2 to level 3. So you cannot just study for level 1 parts and then go in for level 2 without having that sync in terms of knowledge. Like I mentioned previously, I think you need to be very consistent with this exam and solve a lot of questions. Why? Because you're going to be in a constant battle with yourself in terms of your confidence level, right? And one thing that boosts your confidence level back to 100% is how well you do with your end of chapter questions, which you must be very religious about, right? You must be very religious about your end of chapter questions. There are different folks that will tell you, you study for your questions, finish reading everything before you start working on your end of chapter questions. Some people will tell you as soon as you are done with a specific module, dive into your end of chapter questions. That's how I did mine, right? It kind of helps you solidify your knowledge, right? It kind of helps you just know what are your weak areas, which should also be your prime focus. Looking for your weak areas while you're studying for your exams. Be intentional about your weak areas. Don't shy away from them, because you just may go into the hall and you find your first 4 questions is from that specific weak area you were running from. So when you see the weak area as an opportunity to attack it, back to your drawing board, see how you can study more and practice more questions to be perfect at it. Level 1 is pretty much more of concepts, right? So your level of understanding has to be top notch. That is the summary of level 1. It is a proof of concepts. That is what CFA is trying to test you at that level, right? And another thing that helped me, quite frankly, was the things that we had after the entire CFA lectures, because like I told you, NF impact doesn't really end last day you're done with lectures. You also have access to the lecturers in case you are down, and as soon as you start your day 1 lectures, you are grouped into a WhatsApp group, right? And you start studying from there. So that group sessions we had in the evenings was very impactful for me, right? It helped me realize early enough how to go about my weaknesses, even as far as how to really utilize my BA calculator, So all these things at your discretion, you have them at your own instance to utilize. And that's how I was able to, those are like little tips on how I was able to like pass my level 1. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jalil. Thank you. And I think those are pretty important things, right? We can't overflog it, but I'm going to ask just one more time. Then I'm going to take a presentation. Then I'll come back to ask you one last question. Then people will ask their questions. Then I ask you one last question rather tonight. In very, direct terms, we've spoken a lot about the exams, spoken a lot about the institute, spoken a lot about this, about that. I want to find out from you. Let's talk about New Frontiers itself, and in very, very clear.
Hello?
We can hear you now.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Sorry, please. I'm in between devices. I think my internet disconnected. Okay, so I'll turn on my videos later, but let me just go. Let me not keep you. Let me ask this question straight away. So I was asking.
All right, this is me. This is the original one. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so I was saying that if you, and I apologize for the technical glitch, please. So I was saying that if you, in very articulate words, right? Because again, if you do good stuff, one of the things I've learned recently is that you need to be really loud about it, because it's the loudest voice people get to hear, right? I want to ask in very practical and honest ways, how do you think New Frontiers has been able to play a role in your journey? This one I want to make about New Frontiers on this particular question. How exactly? Because it's not yes, there's a lot of proof out there. There's social proof, right? People have said all kinds of things, but I think it's good if you can clearly state. And the reason I want you to state it like this, so that when candidates come, they can know what to focus their attention on. I always tell candidates, whatever happens, just make sure you pass these exams, right? Whatever happens, you come, you don't get parking on time. That's not why you are here. You get what I'm saying? You come, the whole place is full. People got there in time, picked all the parking spaces. You need to sort out parking there. That's not, those things they happen. Are you getting what I'm saying? But that's not why you're there. You're not going to stay back, pick a fight, and then 2 hours, classes are on. Izu is teaching cracking derivatives in class, or Abiodun is cracking fixed income in class, or your place is sorting equities, and you're fighting with, I mean, no, that's not why you're here. Right. So I want you to talk from the standpoint of, how a candidate can easily come in, plug and play. Because we are at a point right now where I can say that if you join our program, you will pass the exams. But I can't say that because there is one factor I don't have control over. Guess what that factor is? It's the factor that even after I've provided all the resources, I cannot guarantee how you combine these resources to your advantage. Whether it's mentors, whether it's peer support, because peer support, you are not going to find that number of people who are headed in the same direction as yourself in one place, right? Faculty, take for example, something like FSA, you will have about 4 or 5 teachers on that course because even one teacher can come and meet me and say, we teach you all of FSA. I would not agree because I believe that you are specialized in certain areas. Unlike what you even find with our global counterparts, sometimes you find one person teach the entire level, maybe seeds out just 2 readings or something, just takes volumes. And yes, people will forgive you because even when you goof in some areas because you have done well in some areas. Are you getting what I'm saying? But people forgive you, but then it doesn't mean that the patient has gotten well. You know how patients don't sue their doctors, right? And even when they let it go, the reality is that the patient might not be feeling well yet. Are you getting what I'm saying? So I want you to state how New Frontiers has how the value that the role that New Frontiers has played in your journey, but more importantly, from an angle that when a candidate comes in, they can just plug in and play, and they can. I mean, Jalil's story is interesting. Came to class July to October, wrote exams in November. Results were out in January. Same January, he's back in level 2. He's ready to write exams. Are you writing May or August? Which one? I mean, is it August you're writing now? Because May was this week for level 2
Au-
guys. August,
August.
right? I mean, are you getting what I'm saying? So what that means is by the time he passes these exams and results are out, maybe is in October now. October, he's just going to wait a bit and then he'll be back for level 3. That's in 2 years. You have closed that cycle, right? Of writing what they will call the almighty CFA exam, if you understand what I'm saying. So I want people to have this kind of results. These are the kind of things I want to see. I want people to pass. That's the joy that I have. That's the only thing I want to happen. I just need people to pass the exam. So tell us how Journey Frontiers has helped you as a candidate, but more importantly, in a way that candidates can just come in and almost immediately get into the flow, right? And replicate, these things, right? So yes, you're talking about how New Frontiers has played a role in your life, but also with a background of how candidates can come in and just know what to look out for immediately and be set on the path of success. That's really what I want. So who is going for Sawa? Is it you or Jalia?
I think Jelly should go first.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Your senior
Okay.
colleague has said to you on this one.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. So, interestingly, right, NF provides what is a very scarce means, right, which is an accountability society, which you would not be able to get for the level of journey that you're about to begin with CFA. Even if you've started the journey, you definitely need to conclude the journey. NF provides that structure and accountability process, especially for folks that are finding it difficult balancing work and study, right? It's something that you shouldn't try to do on your own. If you have someone trying to help you, right, by all means, take that assistance. And that's what NF is trying to provide, right? For me, though, New Frontiers played a very major role for my level 1 journey. Beyond the lectures, like I told you just now, I was exposed to a learning community, right, that I took advantage of. We were paired together. We studied our end of chapter questions together, reviewed our mocks together, and it improved my knowledge. It also improved my community, my cycle, right? You'd even find folks that you liaise with on a daily basis on the bank in your class, right? So now you're now friends with that person. Your transactions are not going smoothly at work. You can easily just call the person. In my own group chats, I think there are some friends like that, and if he sends a transaction and it's not going, he will call him out in our group chats, and everybody will just laugh and be like, please respond now and go and do it. So these are the kind of perks that you would enjoy from the New Frontier being part of your journey, right? You'd have access to instructors that kind of understand the exam deeply. They've gone through the process. Now they are in the field. They are leaders in the field. So whatever experience or whatever lectures you are getting is firsthand and is very correct, right? So like Mr. Ayo mentioned, you don't find a situation where you have one person teaching you a lot of courses, right? In a particular topic, you can find different lecturers handling different modules. And so you're getting the best out of what you can imagine, right? Imagine, for example, someone from, or a director from PwC, right, now having to teach you about financial reporting. Imagine how easy it is going to look like, as against maybe somebody from the capital markets or a fixed income trader in that field teaching you financial reporting. So it's more or less like the best from each field has been coined out to give you or to deliver a specific topic to you. So you get firsthand, you would even get real life examples, right, on how things are and how things should go. So I would say the structure, supports the exam focused approach really helped me stay focused and disciplined, and help to boost my confidence throughout the process. I definitely recommend it for any one of us because it made my journey really easy, and it's still making my journey really easy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jalil. Thank you very much. I think that was quite clear. That was quite concise. Okay. Let's have you. You are speaking for level 2 and 1. So
Yeah, I'm speaking for level 1 and level 2. I've been with you guys from the start till now. Definitely attending New Frontiers classes adds a lot of value to the CFA journey. I'd say because, like I said earlier, they make the process more structured, more practical, and very, very easy to navigate. Complex concepts are broken down. All of us mentioned things that are scary, like derivative, turns to something that is as if you've been doing it all your life. Is very, very relatable. And that's what they do throughout these courses. And it helps you with understanding and retention, which is very key for the CFA exam. From my experience, the lecturers at New Frontiers, they provide valuable guidance, exam strategies, and practical insights. I remember when you would organize special sessions, there were some that were very early in the morning, and these people showed up. Sometimes late night classes, they show up just to give you insights. This is how you pass. I remember Mr. Ayokule showing us exam results and how to strategize. Like, they go all out to ensure that you pass this exam. This is something that you wouldn't get if you just do self-study alone. Another major benefit is the community, like Jalil had highlighted. That CFA journey, it brings you with other people in the same experience. So you have a support system. From our level 2 class, like for example, we have a group chat there of friends. We always get together. We've become like family, and we all met in New Frontiers. And you don't know how valuable it is when we're studying close to the exam and we help each other out and hold each other's hands throughout this journey. CFA journey can be very, very demanding. So to be surrounded by people in the same path, it helps with motivation a lot. It helps with accountability and encouragement. I have friends that are like, you're too busy with work hour this week. Have you studied? We call each other, have you gone to the library? You check up on each other. And to be honest, I think the last thing is the admin, the whole New Frontiers faculty. I always tell them we're like family. They've supported me throughout the process, me and many others. I don't even know how they do it and how they keep track, because every year you have several sets of people, plenty of people in the class, but they always try and make it personal in a way that you even feel like it is just you and them on this journey. They really help guide you all the way through earning this charter. Thank you.
thank you very much, Awa. Thank you very much. So, I mean, you heard from the horse's mouth, as it were. And I think that that was important because again, people need to really understand how these things work, what exactly we do, how it is done, and how it adds value. And I just don't want to interject again. Those sessions you talked about, I don't know anything about them. I don't pay for them. They don't impact my own financials in any way. They are selfless things that those guys do, which is why not just anybody will be able to teach on our faculty. You apart from the fact that yes, when you're a charter holder, you know your stuff. We won't even use it. We can't use anybody who's not a charter holder. So you must be a charter holder. But Beyond that, you must be specialized in certain areas. But even much more than that is the heart that you carry. You must be selfless. You must be selfless. You cannot be doing this for any other reason apart from the willingness to help and serve people. It's important. And I think that those guys are the real MVPs. I believe that they are the biggest assets that we fully own. This is not like cliche. This is no faculty, no new frontiers. Those guys are super. They do amazing stuff and they do really well. Right. So thank you very much. So Jalil, and I will give you about 10 minutes to grab coffee, grab water. Then I want to talk to level 1 and 2 prospective candidates about the CFA exam in 2026, right? How is certain information about CFA. Are you guys aware, for example, that this deferral is not happening again from next year? You can't defer exams again from next year.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sure you are exactly. So yeah, again, the exam is evolving thoroughly, right? So you won't even be able to defer exams again from next year, and many other things like that that I think candidates need to know. So you can just stay back, and I'll bring you back for them to ask their direct questions. I see a lot of people have started dropping questions in the chat. We'll take those questions. Then after those questions, people will be able to unmute. We'll have a beautiful interaction. I'll keep it very short, straight to 10 minutes or less than 10, so that we can have a lot of them ask questions. And I want us to please help them just like you've done tonight, right? And just so grab coffee, grab water, just one more lap, right? And we'll be done tonight. But thank you very much again for helping us
Thank
thus
you.
far. It's been
you.
beautiful. Yeah. All right. So guys, confirm once again that you can both see and hear me. I'm going to share my screen now. You need to let me know that you can see my screen when I eventually share it. But how has it been? Unmute your microphones and tell me, how has it been thus far? Drop in the chat. How has it been? Has it been enlightening before I start sharing my screen? Are you learning stuff? Is it encouraging? Okay. I think I'm seeing some chats dropping. Okay. Ose says I can hear you. Isiba comment says great. Messi says it's been interesting. Okay, good. Yep, and we'll come to the questions. I see Jose has dropped 2 questions, so we'll definitely take that, right? But let's take these guys. So, are you with me? Are we ready? Can you see my screen now? And can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? All right.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So I'll go with that. Thank you. So let's go. And you can see, you confirm hearing. Can you confirm seeing my screen? Oh, okay, good. That's fine. I get a double yes there. All right, guys. So let's go. So this is welcome tonight. We've had pretty engaging session tonight. This is us. We are right now at the point of questions, doing questions and answers. I'm sorry. Let's talk level 1, set 1 and 2. I want to have a conversation with you. Then we'll go to question and answer. This is Abiodun Agbola. Abiodun Agbola was Group Head, Derivatives Market, FMDQ Securities Exchange Limited. He says, I had a background in microbiology and crossing to finance was a lot. New Frontiers Learning gave me that community and helped to really understand the CFA curriculum and make that switch that was required from microbiology to finance. Abiodun turned out to be not just a charter holder. Abiodun turned out to be one of the most amazing members of the faculty. And this was someone coming from microbiology, from the, what are those things? All kinds of things they say in that place, from microbiology to finance, right? And New Frontiers was very helpful in helping him make that necessary switch. This is Ginika, investment analyst at Arua Capital, says great learning center. Teachers have in-depth knowledge of the curriculum. They make classes highly interactive for better assimilation and retention of materials. Chidera says I spent a few months, sorry, just a minute. Chidera says I spent the past few months burning the midnight oil to study for the exams. I'm glad to announce I passed. Special thanks to faculty, lots of study buddies, some of whom have become good friends, and of course to God, who always makes it possible, isn't it? So, yeah, the CFA program. You must be aware that this is an exam that is the most respected and the most recognized financial markets and investment credential in the world. It's the gold standard. It's number one globally. If you're going to be in the finance and investment space, then that's it. The CFA program is administered out of the United States of America by the CFA Institute, and the number in Nigeria is growing. We have over 200,000 right now in Nigeria. The charter requires passing 3 levels of exams, 36 months of qualifying work experience, and pledging to adhere to the code of ethics. And this exam is organized into 3 levels: level 1, level 2, level 3, and the body of knowledge is robust. Exams will be tested in a typical 5-hour exam. So whether it's level 1, 2, or 3, you typically will spend about 5 hours taking exams at each level. How are these exams structured? They are structured as follows. Level 1 is multiple choice entirely. Level 2 as well is multiple choice entirely. However, there are certain episodes, they are short episodes, right, that are written, and we call them vignettes. So we call them vignettes of other multiple choice. By level 3, you have those vignettes, but then those vignettes will be backed with one section will be multiple choice, but then the other vignette questions will be essays, response constructed. You need to construct responses yourself. You need to write out responses, essays, right? And there are ways to get that done, right? The areas, of course, ethics, FSA, financial statement analysis, quantitative methods, portfolio management, equity, fixed income, corporate issuers, derivatives, economics, alternative investments, right? And specialized pathways for level 3, right? In 2026, for level 1, the exam happens 4 times a year, right? FMAN, February, May, August, November. FMAN, February, May, August, November. Level 2, MAN, May, August, November. May, August, November, so you can plan correctly. And level 3, the music note FA, February, August, February and August, right? February and August. Now let's talk about new frontiers. Our story is one that is born out of a compelling desire to just help ease the journey of every CFA exam candidate. We used to say in Nigeria, but now it's in the world because we have candidates from Cairo, from Nairobi, from Paris, from Canada, from the UK, from America, who join our classes live or depending on how their schedule is. But we have candidates from all over the world right now. And our founders went through this journey with very little or no support of any kind. But they made up their mind to help turn into reality the dream of every CFA candidate. And that's the dream of earning the prestigious CFA charter, irrespective of their backgrounds, whether it's finance or non-finance. And today, after over an entire decade, we're 16 years right now of pursuing this vision. We've supported about 5,000 professionals, right? And these professionals are in various markets of the world, right? Various markets of the world. Done this for 16 years. So what that means is that we have a system that works. We know what works. We've codified it into a system. When we say take this assignment, take this test, that's essentially what we are doing. Taking you through the process that works. When we say attend this class, when we say interact with faculty, when we say do this and do that, that's it, right? That's it. Here our founders are Yokunle Ojo CFA, Michael Anyima CFA, Banji Fentola CFA, and Olani Ogunbayo CFA. Probably know some of them if you work in the finance and investment space in this market. So why New Frontiers? Our biggest is the world-class faculty of leading investment professionals. These guys will stand shoulder to shoulder with any other finance professional anywhere in the world. And they are selfless, like you've been hearing about it. We give you dedicated mentorship. We're experienced in this market. We've done this for over 16 years. We offer scholarships, discount, and special offers. There are class assignments, there are quizzes, monthly tests, there are candidate support, job opportunities, and impact series like the one we are doing right now, tonight. Again, these are candidate reviews. You can find them on Google. You can find they are publicly verifiable on LinkedIn. They're all over the place. Even before you get to our website, you will see all of this already. More than close to 150 right now reviews from candidates who have passed through us. Ayo Bami, for example, says learning at New Frontiers over the past couple of months has been an awesome experience, from having to interact with sharp intellectual minds to being able to learn from very well seasoned professionals, charter holders, and their wealth of knowledge and experience. It's been a wonderful ride, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Aishat says, My experience with New Frontiers has been excellent. The instructors break down complex concepts, CFA concepts, into simple, practical lessons. And the study resources are very comprehensive. Our structured approach and constant support kept me consistent and confident in my preparation. I highly recommend to anyone serious about passing the CFA exams, right? And we have various types of programs, but mainly right now I'll talk about the regular program and intensive program. The regular programs are our live programs. They are live programs. They happen live and for 16 weekends, right? And they run both as both live and self-paced. What that means is you can attend the program while it's happening, or you can have access to it while recorded. The good thing about it is when you register for our program, you would have access, whether as a virtual or physical candidate, you will have access to the recording of the 16 weekends of your classes for 1 year from when the classes started. So someone like Jalil, for example, took classes in, let's say, June. His access to that class was going to be from June to May, right? For those who are in January, who join our program in January and rounded up in April, they have access to all the resources, question banks, curriculum, all kinds of materials, right? And I dare say we have nothing less than 10,000 questions that we give to our candidates. Video recordings of about 300 hours of the lectures itself. You have access to it. So those that joined in January, for example, we have access to it from January to December. That means that whatever window of exam they choose to take, whether it's February, May, August, November, you will be able to write your exam without being disturbed at your own pace, right? So that's how that works. So this is our typical calendar. Our level 1 and 2 program runs twice a year. It's like a sandwich at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year. So the January to April class, 16 weekends, will cater for guys writing the May and the August exams. Then we have the ones that begins in June to October, and that caters for the guys writing the November and the February exams. In between is our level 3 program that happens from March to July, which our is currently a part of, right? So that's how our program runs most times. This is typically, so 2027 calendar will typically run like this, maybe with 1 or 2 additions, but fundamentally, this is the skeleton, this is the structure on which our program is based on. So if you did not take the January to April class, we're inviting you to the June to October class to write the November exams or the February exams, whichever one it is. Yeah, that leads us to this free 50-day early access. So we have an early start program. What that means is that you have access to the recordings, to about 300 hours of class videos, right? All the CFA exam topic areas reviewed, all the end of chapter questions were solved. About 10,000, this is a typo, about 10,000 practice questions and answers, forum for additional questions, free mentorship from industry leaders, 24/7 access to faculty. I mean, I've told you how for Jalil and Awa tonight, they've spoken about how they've had extra classes that I knew nothing about. I don't even, because we don't even touch candidate-faculty interaction. In fact, if anything, we force the interaction. We want the interactions to happen not just within the 4 walls of class, beyond the 4 walls of classes, right? And it's important, it will be with you. It helps your career beyond just even passing exams, right? Job opportunities, we always get this because people know what we do and they understand the quality of the work that we deliver. They reach out to us when they have opportunities in the organizations, and we share with our candidates as well. Of course, peer-to-peer networking, strong community of candidates, and a proven means of success in your CFA exams. What this means is that for candidates who are joining our level 1 and 2 program, for example, that will start in June, right? On the 20th of June, we're starting a new class for level 1 and 2. Those guys, 50 days before then, which was from, I think from April 30th or May 1st, they got access to this early start and they've been watching those videos. We believe that improves your chances of success. That's your first touch with class. When you come to start your class by June 20th, that will be your second touch with the materials. By the time the classes are done and you're consolidating, that will be your third touch with the materials. we believe that this works and helps people succeed. And the interesting thing is, whether you join us now for this early start, or you wait till June 20 to join the classes, you are going to pay exactly the same fee. So it's absolutely free for 50 days for guys who choose to join the program, right? So it's a no-brainer. It's free. There's nothing, it will cost you absolutely nothing to jump on it and start even, getting yourself acquainted, prepare for the classes before time. Of course, our new start date for next year is on the 20th of June. I've mentioned that for level 1, November, and level 1 and 2, November 2026, and of course, February 2027 exact classes. So 20th of June, make it a date, plan to be with us. But before then, we advise strongly, take advantage of these free days, because whether you join on the 20th or you take advantage of this now, you call us now to take it, it's going to be absolutely free. It costs you nothing, no additional cost to you, right? Okay, there are some prerequisite video materials that we'll also have. For some reason, the Institute have called them prerequisite materials. We didn't have to. They are stuff that candidates need to read themselves. But we got our teachers to break it down and say, okay, instead of people spending hours of studying what they don't even understand, can you just do it for free? And to show you that it's absolutely free, it's right there on YouTube. We don't touch it. We created the videos and we just dump them there on YouTube, and anybody from any part of the world at any time, you can watch them, you can download them, you can share them, you can do whatever you like with them. They just brush you up for class and help you to prepare, right? So quants, FSA, and economics for free. They are all there on the website. So go to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, look for New Frontiers Learning Center on YouTube at New Frontiers Learning Center at YouTube. You will definitely find brush up videos there for you. I'm going to close with this review from Folashade Ogunbayo, CFA, who works in infrastructure investment with the IFC. That's the World Bank. She says the mock exams at New Frontiers Learning helped a lot. The feedback was always a good tool to judge my preparation level to each phase. If you need a prep center, New Frontiers Learning Center is the place. It's unbelievable how many intelligent people you have in one place, right? So if you need to reach out to us, these are the guys to contact, Mr. Olawale and Mr. Isiaka. They are client team, right? And you can go to newfrontierslearning.com/enroll. When you enroll, somebody will pick it up and send you a standard message for whatever level you are preparing for. Olawale, please, could you drop the link in the chat right now so that people can? And we advise that you please follow us on LinkedIn. It's good that you do, because all the updates and the new things that we share will show up on LinkedIn first of all, right? And then you can pick it up from there. So that is my presentation. I think we then go to the point where we then begin to take questions, right? So just a minute. Let me stop sharing my screen. Stop sharing my screen now. Yep. So I am back for the questions. We're back for the questions. So our Jelly, thank you for your patience. Let's get to this now. Welcome back. Hope you're able to grab coffee, grab water, stay hydrated.
Yes, thank you.
Good. All right. Thank you very much. So this is the final lap. Let's go in now and just take questions, right? Just a minute. I'm trying to grab the questions. Okay. So Ose says, some I'll just take quickly. What's the benefit of physical class compared to online class? Well, I would say no. I would say, well, it's preference. It's not like the physical class is better, right? If you live in Toronto, Canada, there's no way you would attend physical classes in Lagos, right? So physical class benefit is that you come physically, you interact with teachers physically, you interact with candidates physically. But candidates virtually do that as well. I will give you names so that you can go and verify them. Temi Oshin. Temi Oshin is T-E-M-I-O-S-H-I-N. Temi wrote all her exams at one sitting, and she wrote from Canada. I think at the time she was working with maybe Deloitte or something, and she was always a busy mother of children. In fact, sometimes it's been said that when Timmy is asking questions in class, you'll be hearing her children's voice at the background, right? And she always asked questions, right? And she was based out of Canada for level 1, 2, and 3, and she wrote everything in one sitting. So there is no disadvantage, right, of being physical and virtual. I've even always said it. If I were a candidate myself, I would be a virtual candidate. I would be a virtual candidate. I don't like to commute too long, right? Unless I don't like commuting unless it's entirely necessary, if you understand what I mean. So that's that. Okay. Ose says, did you use your jottings from your classes to prepare? Let's take that one quickly. So Ose says, did you use your jottings from classes to prepare?
Yes, definitely. What I noticed is that in class, they break down things and they give you key points, especially there are times when they'll say this formula is very important. This thing comes out all the time. This is something that is major because that CFA curriculum is bulky, we all know, is a lot of content there, but there are some things that are key for you to pass that exam. And in class, because of experience, they'll tell you this is what you need. So it's like a jotting. When I'm reading curriculum, I don't jot. When I'm in class, that's when I jot, and I go back and I look at the key things that I need to recall. So yes, jotting is very important from class.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Awa, for that. Thank you. Well done. Thank you for that. I see there is a question here on. I'll take all the questions. And guys, you can actually unmute your microphones to ask questions. We prefer the interactions. I prefer the interactions, really. You can use the raise your hand feature. We'll just allow you. And if you can't, just unmute and speak. I'm absolutely fine with that, right? But let me take these questions while we wait for people who to speak. When will classes for February 2027 level 1 exam start? So I just mentioned that. That starts on June 20th. And of course, there is the early start that started already. It has begun already. The early start has begun already. But then classes will start on June 20th this year. June 20th, that's in about 4 weekends from now, right? June 20th. So yes, I can say that. What's the ideal preparation period you recommend for level 1? Let me allow Jalil talk. I think Jalil was you were November candidate. There are 2 classes from July. So let me allow you take that one. What's the ideal preparation period you recommend for level
1? Quite frankly, you give more time. Not just I think I used 6 months to prepare for level 1, but I was under immense pressure. Trust me. There were times where Mr. Ayo, I can't even see him walk past without, just jumping him and asking him different scary questions that I have in my head. But 6 months is very doable, quite frankly, if you are going to be very religious and very consistent with studies, right? Then it's very doable. There is no, you don't have to push yourself too much. Just be very consistent. If you are very consistent, then you can do it. But if you are not so consistent, your work is demanding, then I don't think it's first to finish, but you probably need to stretch it out a little bit.
Yeah. So I think I hear you keep saying over and over again tonight that consistency over intensity, right?
Yeah.
Consistency over and I think that's what makes champions in any field. There's no magic. There is consistency. That has to happen. I like the way Olayinka Oyetunji says it. She says human beings are habit beings. We are habit beings. Your life right now is a reflection of the habits that you have formed as an individual, right? So if you intend to pass exams, then you just need to imbibe the habit of champions, and one of them is consistency, much more than intensity. There is no point reading 10 hours today and you do not open that book for another 2 weeks. It doesn't work like that. You are better off with your 3 hours every day, your 2 hours every day. Some people are so consistent that it is the time they spend in traffic. I've had people talk about how they don't even play music in their car again. They just listen to audio. They take all the lecture notes from class for ethics, for example, put it into an AI, turns it into an audio file, and that's what they are playing. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, right? Or they are just playing the recordings on the LMS in their car. Is you must find what works, and then you must be consistent with it, right? Okay, thank you very much. I think Awa is back. So, I was going to ask you. Just a minute. I'll check this. Okay. So I was going to ask you this question someone shared here about how. Just a minute. I'm trying to find it. About combining it with work. Okay, Favor says what's the ideal preparation you recommend for level one? This for someone who hasn't opened any study pack before. Yes, absolutely. 6 months plus classes. If classes accelerate it, it's mastication. It's that thing where you chew meat for children, for babies, right, or toddlers before. That's the thing. Yeah. So opening the study pack is not even the first thing to do. Sometimes it could confuse you, right? Having someone explain it to you can just be where to start from, if you understand what I mean, right? So that's Favor. I hope you're satisfied with that response. Collins asks, and says, how do you balance working long hours and studying? Again, I always tell candidates that this is the ideal life of candidates. There is no this is the typical life of candidates. There is, except your dad is paying for the exam or somebody is bankrolling you. There is no. This is the life of the candidate. I mean, if you even write the exams without working, yes, you will have more time. It doesn't even guarantee a pass still. But I know that at the end of passing the 3 levels, the institute will be waiting for you to prove to them that you have relevant qualifying work experience to be able to use the charter. Am I correct? So there are a lot of level 3 people who passed, but they haven't earned the charter. They can't use the CFA behind their names, for example, until they're now putting in, the work experience. So let's have you how do you balance working long hours and studying? Because I know you work long hours. You traveled at a particular point, you were out of the country, and I'm sure your bosses were scared about whether you would even pass this exam. They were worried, but let's go.
To be honest, so what I did for level one, I think you have to be strategic. But I think the main thing I'll tell you, my secret to balancing work and passing was New Frontiers. I'm not even capping. It was the classes. I never even opened curriculum before the class. I went for the class. I paid attention. It was way easier to now go back to the curriculum. It was like revision because I had less time to dedicate and be reading on my own. So I had classes. I dedicated those weekends, those 4 months. I'm at class. There's nothing else on my weekend. If I was only when I had chance, maybe there was a free slot that you do other things. But my life just became going for classes. And then, like Jalil had said, pace yourself, right? Level one, I did classes from January and finished, and I made sure I had enough time to revise before my exam in May. Because, like you said, I traveled in between and I had a lot to do. So you're not in a race with anybody to earn your charter. Make sure you take your time. There's no ideal period. Some people learn fast, some people learn things slowly. I had paced my level one, but level two, I did it in barely 4 months, from February till I wrote it mid-May. So that's the difference. Your situation would also, what's it called, determine what you need to do, right? But I'd say you pace yourself, give yourself enough time and classes. And I'll give you one advice. I had a friend who were studying together for May, and that person said, you know what, I'm not ready, and deferred it till November because they knew they weren't ready. And when she wrote in November and passed, we had done classes, she really aced. So I'd say that pace yourself, classes, and make sure you take your time. You're not in a race with anybody.
Thank you very much. And this is the point where I always say to a lot of people, and I never mentioned it to Awa until when she came for our level 3 program. Personally, I've seen a lot of results. I've not seen a better result than ours result in my years in working in CFA program. And this is not an exaggeration. You need to see that result yourself. When you come to class, I'll show it to you. And if you ask her, she will tell you. In fact, she told me that she doesn't even believe that she's one of the most intelligent in class. Otherwise, she wouldn't even be asking as many questions as she does. But she wasn't joking with classes. And she was strategic. She knew how work was going to be, took her classes early, and just went. She disappeared. She literally disappeared. We didn't even see her until when she started right. In fact, she told me when she was in India that her bosses were concerned that, are you sure you are still preparing for this exam like this? Right. And then that result, it was that result. And it's amazing. When I saw that, I was like, no, this is it just validated what I always say. People don't fail exams because they didn't study. They fail because they were not strategic study. They were not strategic study. You know, it's the same way if you have completed an undergraduate program. Of course, you won't even be taking a CFA program if you haven't completed an undergraduate program. You know very well that there are 5 unit courses. There are 4 unit courses, right? You know the unitary system now. There are 2 unit courses. There is a way you address 5 unit courses and there's a way you address 1 unit courses. Am I correct? So you need to be strategic about these things. And I always tell candidates, let me also drop this here. This will help somebody. Let me tell you something today. The CFA program is a holistic program. It's holistic. See, if you miss it in quants, just be consistent, like Jalila said tonight. It's consistency over intensity. If you miss it in quants and you can't get, for example, in quantitative methods, just be there at fixed income. You will find the application of that thing the teacher was trying to explain to you in quants, right? Or maybe it's time value of money. You will find it in equity, right? You will find the application of it in equity, and by then you will pick it up. If you can't pick it at the theory level, you will pick it at the theoretic level. If you can't pick it at the theory, you'll pick it at the point of application. So the program is holistic. What you learn in QM, you'll find the application of it in quants. What you learn in fixed income. What you learn in fixed income, you'll find the application of it in derivatives. It's a holistic program, right? And this is something that people don't know. Some people will just go into it and they begin to study, and as they are studying, they'll give up. They'll just break down that and say, oh, this quant thing, is this what the program is about? I'm not doing it again. Calm down. It's just the beginning. You need to go through. That's why there are 10 topic areas. You would find the application somewhere and you will be able to use it, right? English grad, can it get worse than that? Straight out of law school, grad, law. Segun is not just a teacher now. Segun is a member of our faculty. And I'm mentioning names so that you can go and verify, right? Segun, I see somebody asking whether there's a place in mainland. New Frontiers doesn't have a school in mainland, but we have candidates who are coming from mainland. Segun was coming from Iyanopaja to physical class. He says his preference wasn't virtual. When it comes like that, at the point where I say, Segun, you can't be traveling like this. When you come at the weekend, you stay. You can't, today, not only did Segun pass his exams, Segun is a member of our faculty. Let me tell you the interesting thing. At level 3, when Segun was writing with people in class who were financial controllers, CFOs. They didn't pass, he passed. He was straight out of law school. He was straight out of law school. So this thing, you have to be strategic, right? And you have to be shown what works, right? And somebody would need to hold you. The exams are already difficult. Don't complicate the process. There's no need, right? If there's anything you want to do now, is how to shorten your journey on how to get to the finish line, not to elongate it and now spend hours trying to understand. Somebody told me that he spent maybe a whole day or something on one reading. I'm like, then that's when you should have known that you were doing something wrong. You can't spend a whole day on one reading. You don't even have that luxury of time. In level 1 alone, I think you have about 94 modules. Jalil, am I correct? About something like about 94 modules. How do you read for 10 hours on one reading? You can't do that. And that's because you are trying to do the heavy lifting yourself. You need help. If you need to get help, then get help, right? Thank you very much, Alice. Somebody else says, what other materials did you use for preparation? I would like them to answer, but let me say this. There is the danger. One of the pitfalls is the overwhelmingness, if there's anything like that, of materials as well. Again, I said at some point that people who do great stuff need to be loud about it because a lot of people are making a lot of noise these days on the internet, and they say they provide a lot of resources, and it's good. we also provide these resources as an add-on, but we provide them as an add-on. We know the main meal, but they are add-ons, right? And I'll allow them mention what those additional materials are. But I want you to beware of being overwhelmed with too much material, right? So let me take that one then, Jalil as well. Say something about it. What other materials did you use for
Okay,
the
so
pictures?
for my level 1, for my level 2, it was just New Frontier classes and curriculum because I believe that CFA put together this exam. Trust me, whatever you need is inside that curriculum. Study the material, do the ecosystem questions and the 2 mocks, and you're good to go. I've never done IFT, I've never done Meldrum, all those external questions, all those additional, all those Schweizer shortcut and all. Curriculum and classes, that's all you need. If you feel like you don't have enough time, pace yourself. But trust me, there's a reason why they put all that data in that curriculum. And classes just makes it easier. Like you said, if you were spending 10 hours on reading, by the time you go to class, you probably have just 2 hours because it's just revision. You've already been taught. So only thing I ever use is curriculum.
Thank you very much, Al. Thank you. Jalil.
Yeah, I'm totally aligned with our actually. I think that there is no shortcuts to this thing, right? You need your curriculum very much. It's more or less like your holy book throughout the period. You just need to focus and you would be fine. Be very attentive during lectures. For some folks, you have other materials that you use, but I tell you for free, you find your exams easier, right? It's painstaking, quite all right, I agree. But you would find out that when you attempt your mock or when you are running your exams, it's going to be a very easy process. And that's the prayer at the end of the day, that your exams should be easy. Even when it's deemed to be very difficult, it should be very easy. So I'll suggest that you stick with your curriculum throughout the period until you're done.
Thank you, Jalil. Thank you very much, Jalil. And of course, in the tons and tons of resources we have, whatever it is we will have gone to buy with money, we provide them, the curriculum and other materials, right? But again, like they said, there's a reason why that curriculum is that way. And there is a way when your faculty has broken it down to you, right? It's easier for you to go through. What looks alkaline when you look at the curriculum right now, right? You will see what you see as alkaline right now is that way because somebody has not done the heavy lifting, which is why the class helps, right? So that's that. Somebody says if you register for level 1 February 2027 exam, you want to defer, does the new CFA policy you talked about prohibit this? This is what I always say to candidates. You need your relationship with the CFA Institute is a lifelong relationship. And I'm sure Awa and Jelio can confirm to you. Even after you become a charter holder, you will get the curriculum every year. You will get the curriculum every year. They will create programs for you, right, all the time. Do you understand what I'm saying? They are in touch with you. So you need to learn when it comes to CFA policy. Don't take the word of a prep center. Write this in capital letters, guys. Do not take the word of a prep center. And I mean what I'm saying. Do not take the word of a prep center or anybody giving you advice. You need to go to the institute. Ask how I need you to unmute your microphones and please confirm, Angelia. Those guys are thoroughly responsive. They are very responsive. They are very responsive. I've had candidates had problems, challenges like 1 week to exam. I mean, just right?
Yes, very responsive.
Exactly. Somebody said he got a message and saw that the name on his passport was different. The middle name was on his passport, but wasn't on his CFA Institute ID. And they had gotten an email saying that the names must match.
Yeah.
And he was panicking and reached out to us. Yes, we are your first point of call. That's good. But honestly, you must create a new. So I sent him back. Go to the institute. Send them an email now. He was panicking and saying all kinds. I said, you are already behind on this matter. Just send them an email and let them tell us. And they responded and resolved the matter in less than 24 hours. He was able to take his exams without any issues, right? You don't, those guys, they are not so, I know you've taken a lot of exams in Nigeria, you've interacted with your lecturers, and all, these guys, they are different. You will get value. They understand that you are paying a lot for these exams and they will treat you like a human being. Are you getting what I'm saying? They respect you. So when you're dealing with them, you have any questions, check out with them. Check their. So a candidate called me about scholarship deferral and says initially I know in my head that you can't get scholarship and defer. It's unlikely that you'll be able to do that. You are expected to use it within even a certain window. But I said, okay, try reach out to them just in case I'm wrong. And he did, and he confirmed what I said. Right? But you must, when it comes to policy matters, do not, I repeat, you can get to the exam and you can go in with the wrong calculator. The institute has a policy for everything. Jalil, am I correct?
Totally correct.
They have a policy for everything. There is a calculator policy. There is a deferral policy. There are all kinds of things. So if you are too busy to read them, just send them an email. They will respond to you. But I do not want you to take the word of any prep center on policies, right? When it comes to policy matters, the institute reserves the right to change their policies when they do. These are very important points I'm sharing with you tonight. Please do not take it as, but you just tell us. No, I can't tell you for two reasons. Number one, I'm not encouraging something good. Your relationship with them is for life. Number two, you're watching this video on the 22nd of May 2026. There's somebody who's going to grab this video in 3 years' time because it's going to be on YouTube. The internet doesn't forget. And they will watch it in that time and they will take the policy and run with it. No. Right? We are very much aware of the consequences of our actions and our inactions. So I won't be able to answer straight. So you need to just go to the website, check it out, talk to them about it, and find out what it is. But there's something I can say about deferral. One reason why they do not encourage deferral is that the institute data shows that people that defer don't pass their exams. Or a larger number of people that defer don't pass their exams. Now, again, that is contextual. That's highly contextual. Remember that the data, the population they are dealing with is larger. Ours is the sample size. If a candidate differs at New Frontiers, because they have materials, they've attended classes, what they are deferring for is to consolidate. So they are not going to lose momentum. They won't lose steam. So that data may not be entirely true for our own candidates. And I'm sure someone like Jalil can confirm because there are people in class who have said, I'm not writing this November you went to write. I will write the one in February, right? And they wrote and they passed. Are you getting what I'm saying? So that's it. So again, when it comes to this policy thing, check out with them and all that. But that's one thing about deferral is why they are taking out the deferral. They have some monies they've made from deferral, but they don't like that kind of money. It's not. They don't like the fact that candidates are not passing because their momentum drop. And I think that challenge is mostly with self-paced people. The moment you know that you've pushed it, like, okay. But the moment you are in a structured environment, like Jalil said, where your guys are calling you at 9 p.m. and saying, I don't know how tough your day was, but it's time for us to practice questions. All right. Or you have already you've fixed an appointment with your mentor and he says, I will have time at 9:30. And you are saying, I'm tired from work. You will make the time. You need that structure as well, which I think is what this also provides, right? So, Favor, I hope that answers your question. Okay, Manasseh says, for people who are far from you that cannot come physically, how do you render help to them, please? I want to be a part. I just said so. If I were in your shoes, I would be a virtual candidate. We have a learning management system that works, right? Not only can you attend the classes live at the same time outside of Lagos, outside of Nigeria, you will also have access to the recordings of those classes for 1 year from when the classes started. So you attend it live if you want, and then you can watch the recording at any time in your. So it's a live class that while it's happening in Lagos, it's happening in Cairo at the same time, happening in Nairobi at the same time, happening in Paris, happening in Toronto, happening in the US at the same time. People from different worlds and different time zones are able to join at the same time, right? So Manasseh, I hope I answered your question. The school is for you. We are very happy about our virtual candidates, and we have results from our virtual candidates as well, right? Okay. So Mercy says, beyond the inability to defer exams, what are the new changes from February 2027? Again, you need to check the policies from the institute. But apart from things that change in the curriculum, right, which are not always drastic, Those are the main things, right, Messi? So it's mostly changes that happens in the curriculum. Those are the changes you can expect, right? Not apart from deferral. You understand? So changes, a little bit of change, and the changes are not always serious. So take for example, what is a bond is a bond, if you understand what I mean. When they say what's a bond is a bond. That's what it is. The definition of a bond is the definition of a bond. The institute is not going to upgrade the definition of a bond. But what they can do is they can move a topic that they put in level 2. I think it's something like behavioral finance they used to have in level 3. Jalil, you talked about behavioral finance in level 3, level 1.
Yes, correct. Level 1
That,
is now in
that thing was moved. That thing was actually moved from level 3 to level 1, not from level 2. They moved it from level 3. So those are the kind of changes that the institute makes, right? There are upgrades in knowledge where they can add new things, but not like they change the context. The finance space is the finance space, if you understand what I mean, right? That being said, you should stick to the current material, and faculty upgrades their notes, of course, for that purpose as well, right? So beyond different exams, if you need to know policy matters, you need to check out the institute's website, right? And that's not always a difficult thing. CFAinstitute.org will come to the rescue anytime. Mercy, I hope you're satisfied. Okay, thank you, Favor. Favor says she's satisfied. Rita says, thank you so much for a detailed and very informative session. Much appreciated. Ayodeji, I've not heard you say anything about candidates in the UK since. I have now. Candidates all over the world. You are part of the world now, Ayodeji. In fact, your time zones kind of overlap with ours, isn't it? Am I correct? The guys in the UK. Their time zones kind of overlap with ours now. Some at most it's always 1 hour difference at the very most. Meanwhile, we have candidates who are joining in at your own 8 a.m. is 3 a.m. at their own side, and they are joining in live from Canada. So, Ayodeji, please, it's as good as we are being in our time zone. So please, by all means, join us. Join us. Reach out. Molali has dropped the link. Molali, please drop the link again for people who are asking these questions to join. Thank you. Okay, Messi says she's fine with the question. Ayodeji says he's fine as well. Okay. It's 8 p.m. now. If anybody has any question, you can drop it or just raise your hands. But at this time, I want to ask my people for their parting words. So, Jalil, if you walk into a restaurant and somebody walks up to you and says, I know you just passed level 1 exams. How can you help me? What should I do right now? What will be your parting words? What will be the most important thing you tell that person?
I'm going to direct the person straight to new frontiers, right? Because the person just needs to start his journey or her journey at that point in time, right? They'll be to communicate because it's a process I've gone through. I would say this is a very difficult journey, right? And if you have somewhere where you can get help or an enabler as an institution, by all means, take advantage of it. Not to talk about the numerous add-ons and positive values you would get from joining this community, right? It is important that you start your journey very, very well. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jalil. I don't know if Hawa is back. I saw she dropped off temporarily.
Yes, I don't know if you can hear me.
Excellent. I can hear you. That's really good. So your parting words for anybody who wants to take these exams. Somebody walks up to you at work and says, I've made up my mind to take this exam. What would you say? Based on what you've said today.
First thing I'll say, you need a very strong anchor. You can't just write the exam, like I said earlier, for writing's sake, because you need something to keep you through. And like Jalil had highlighted, you need to, especially depending on how your schedule is and your lifestyle, you need to find the best way possible. There's no harm. It's always about working smart, not working hard does not mean putting in extra work. And that's where New Frontier comes in. I always tell Mr. Ayokule, they are a family to me. I started with them, and by God's grace, I'll end with them. Our advice during classes, people that know what to teach you and people that have tested and don't change something that works, right? People that have done it and delivered several candidates. I know he said earlier he had 100% rates. Even my level 2 class, over 95, in fact, I think 98% of people passed, maybe just one or two that decided to defer because of work. So this is something that has been tried and tested. Classes really help. And please, please be consistent. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I can't wait to bring you back for level 3 and Jalil for level 2.
Perfect.
I think we had a pretty beautiful session tonight. And thank you, Olawale, for putting this together. Olawale, big thumbs up for you. Well done. And Mr. Isiaka as
Thank
well.
you.
This is beautiful. I think this is one of the best sessions I've had. It's beautiful. Well done. Somebody says, please, can I have access to recording? Yes, you do. In fact, as we speak right now, the recording is all yours. This session is being transmitted live on YouTube. There are people who joined via YouTube. So it's there. Just go to search for New Space Frontier Space Learning Space Center. Center is spelled TRE, not TER. New Frontiers Learning Center on YouTube. You will find this video tonight and many other videos. So you have access to it. It's automatic. It's for you. Share with friends. Tell people. Please help somebody out there who needs. The exams are already difficult. Please don't complicate the process. If there's anything you are looking for now is how to make it easier. You can't pay $1,500 for exams, and then you are now complaining about whether something that is not up to $500 is expensive to attend classes. I mean, if it's an insurance, then it's worth it. It's like paying a premium to protect. So do all you can, get yourself into class, see that you pass, right? And whatever you do, like I always say, make sure you pass this exam. Just pass. We have any connection we can have after. But whatever you do, just pass. That's what I want. Just pass. Just pass, right? And thank you very much. As much as people keep saying that we've done a lot, we evolve every day. For example, in our level 3 program, and Awa can attest to this, you will get that you guys are starting something next week, dedicated. It's the first time we are creating it for you guys, just only on how to because your questions are subjective in level 3, right? Those are the kind of things we're involving consistently.
Yes,
So you
there's a
guys
lot
have
of
something going.
essays. So we have a workshop on how
Exactly.
to write essay style. That's the first time, and it's very, very helpful, and it's
Exactly.
something extra.
Yeah. Yes, extra. And you are going to have it for as long as you guys want. We'll keep it on all through the diet till the end of the diet, and if at the end of the diet there's still a need for it, I can incur the cost for a few more weeks, and I just need people to pass.
Thank you
Just
so
pass.
much.
That's my one.
Thank you so
The
much.
more people that pass, the more jealous. Yeah, good. Jalil is jealous. Jalil is jealous. Jalil is jealous.
Guidance now. I know.
Don't worry, I'm giving.
Jalil, you get there. Don't worry.
We've given you resources now for level 2. You guys have more than enough. You cannot, categorically, I'm saying on this call, there's no way you will exhaust the resources we gave you for your level 2 and level 1. Never. There's no way. We have done it deliberately. So all these people are even asking which other material. You want other material, you will find them there tired. But I advise you, don't get overwhelmed. Don't get overwhelmed. Just solve questions, attend the classes, play with the curriculum a lot, and just get into the minds of the examiners. Just see how they think. Just see how they think and understand how they think, and make it easier for you. Thank you very much, guys. We've had a pretty engaging time. Beautiful session tonight. This is reported for the world to see. I'm sure you are also excited to be able to give back, and your impact is global, right? Thank you very much for being a part of what we do. You are family, like you always say, right? You are family too to us, right? And we are happy. Thank you very much for doing this for us tonight. And to our audience, thank you so much for joining. We are so excited that you came. Please share this information with yourself, your friends, your network. And again, whatever you do, make sure you pass, right? See you at the other side. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ayo. Bye.
Yes, sir. Bye.
Thank
See
you
ya.
very much.
Thank you, Howard. Bye.
CFA
Thank you.
exams in Nigeria. Our founders went through their CFA journey with little or no support of any kind. However, they vowed to turn into reality the dream of every CFA candidate earning the CFA charter, irrespective of their backgrounds, finance, and non-finance alike. It is this commitment to support our candidates that influences our engagement of a world-class faculty, partnerships, scholarship, and discount offers, our online learning management system, and so much more. Our clients' outstanding results across all levels of the exams every year attest to the quality of our top-notch physical and online program in the last 10 years. That's right, we have been impacting the industry for 10 years and have supported about 2,500 professionals in that time space. Register with New Frontiers Learning today. New Frontiers Learning is the #1 tuition center for the CFA exams in Nigeria. Our founders went through their CFA journey with little or no support of any kind. However, they vowed to turn into reality the dream of every CFA candidate earning the CFA charter, irrespective of their backgrounds, finance, and non-finance alike. It is this commitment to support our candidates that influences our engagement of a world-class faculty, partnerships, scholarship, and discount offers, our online learning management system, and so much more. Our clients' outstanding results across all levels of the exams every year attest to the quality of our top-notch physical and online program in the last 10 years. That's right, we have been impacting the industry for 10 years and have supported about 2,500 professionals in that time space. Register with New Frontiers Learning today.